Okay, Jyotiraditya Scindia is taking on Nalin Kohli. Jyotiraditya Scindia, yesterday you were debating, you said, let's go ahead on fact, let's debate fact. I'll prove myself right on fact. Jyotiraditya Scindia, Rahul Gandhi presents some facts in the course of today's debate. Nalin Kohli, do you accept Rahul Gandhi got all his facts right and you got all your facts wrong?
Where have we got our facts wrong?
Okay, so here's a couple of facts then. Let's get a clear response. And by the way, Jyotiraditya Scindia, at this stage of the debate, it's just both of you gentlemen. We'll be opening it up in a few minutes. First point. Did Nitin Gadkari say किसान को ना भगवान पे ना सरकार पे भरोसा करना चाहिए?
I haven't heard that statement.
You haven't heard that statement. Jyotiraditya Scindia, did Rahul Gandhi make up that statement?
It's quoted all over, all print media, all electronic media. He said it in a function in Nagpur. And even the people in Nagpur were shocked because he was at a Krishi function where he said that. That किसान को ना भगवान पे और ना सरकार पे भरोसा रखना चाहिए.
Why did Rahul Gandhi quote that?
There cannot be an even more shocking statement. And Rahul,
is it possible that he may be referring to the erstwhile government?
At least one person in the BJP has spoken honestly about the way they look at farmers.
No, so on this one,
okay, I've got the
I'll move to the next point.
It is very possible that he may have been speaking actually, quote the whole speech, and we'll know whether he was speaking of the last UPA or this government.
He was speaking on April 15,
because
2014.
the context would be very important.
He was speaking on April 15, 2014. Have you been in power on April 15, 2014, or did you hand over to the Congress party for a few days in between?
What? April
15, 2015.
Can we have the date again? I thought you said 2014.
2015, April 15, 2015.
2015, you said 14. Yes, that's where the confusion. Yes, so possible, but is it not possible that he may be referring to the previous government, Mr.
And therefore I'm opening up the debate. My question
let the whole speech play out.
My question to you, Nalin Kohli, is while your government stands in the House pretending that it stands with the farmer, your union minister basically blames them for their fate and you refuse to respond to it.
No, why should I? I'm not refusing to respond to it. It's nothing like that. Please play me the bite and I'll take it. Mr. Rahul Gandhi had some big words to speak about Bhatta Parsol and the media went to town painting how inaccurate he was. Mr. Rahul Gandhi exactly hasn't been a paragon like Encyclopedia Britannica. So he may have said something, whether it is true or not. Let the facts substantiate it. Play the bite. What's the big problem about it?
Why was
it's very clear that the facts presented by Rahul Gandhi today in Parliament have made it very clear that the BJP is not on the back foot. The BJP is left stupefied. They put in forward two senior ministers to respond, Venkaiah Naidu ji and Radha Mohan Singh ji, and both could not respond with either facts or emotion to the points that Rahul Gandhi ji put across.
Why was
Even
that?
On the issue of the acreage under compensation. Even Radha Mohan Singh ji was confounded whether it was 181 lakh hectares, 106 lakh hectares, or 90 lakh hectares, or 83 lakh hectares.
Mr. Kohli,
he himself went all across the spectrum. And when I asked him a pointed question, is the Prime Minister misleading the nation when he said 106 hectares? He had no answer for that as well.
Mr. Kohli, why were you short on facts? Are you distant from the issue itself? Because when Rahul Gandhi raised the issue of the minimum support price for farmers, for example, just one point. When he talks about the minimum support price for farmers, Venkaiah Naidu refuses to respond to the allegation. Instead, he speaks about what the government has done for the compensation for the disabled and those who lost their utensils in the calamities. I don't know. Were you unprepared for the debate? When Rahul Gandhi expresses concern for the diminishing agricultural credit to farmers, government talks about road connectivity to rural areas. When the opposition asks pointed questions on the specific of the land acquisition ordinance, you speak about welfare schemes rolled out for the poor. Were you unprepared? When the opposition speaks about the consent clause, the government speaks about the need to chalk a long-term strategy to increase agricultural produce in the country by investing in research and development. My simple question to you, sir, and please be specific tonight. Mr. Nalin Kohli, would you go and tell a farmer who is on the verge of committing suicide, who's lost all his crop, please have hope? We are going to invest in research and development to bring in new seeds to increase your agricultural productivity sometime in the distant future?
I only need half the time, as much as your question, and I'll answer all of it. Let's go one by one. First of all is that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is known to make any kind of statement. He's doing it regularly. you're calling the ministers being short on facts. How much land or how much crop has been destroyed, that figure comes from the states. The lands are in the states. They don't happen to be in New Delhi or anywhere close to Akbar Road.
Your government
and therefore,
does not
when
know.
the figures are changing, it's because the states are assessing and giving it. Hold on, Mr. Goswami. Then Mr. Radha Mohan Singh on the record said the Himachal Pradesh government,
Sir,
when they were on video conference with the minister, appreciated that for the first time a union agriculture minister was speaking to them.
Sir,
that's a Congress government. So here we have a situation. Let's go to MSP. When does MSP come into play? MSP comes into play. Hold on, Mr. Goswami. Let me finish.
My good friend Nalin Kohli is doing exactly what the ministers did in Parliament. Obfuscating facts and not responding to the questions.
Or are you going to be worried about compensation? Mr. Scindia, let me finish. Then please come in. So if your crop is destroyed, are you going to be worried about MSP for a crop that doesn't exist, or are you going to be worried about compensation for a crop that's been destroyed? And for compensation, what has the government done? Reduce the norms from 50% destruction to 33%, and thereafter said instead of 2.5 hectares, extended it to 5 hectares.
How is that?
So the government is doing his job. Mr. Gandhi is entitled to his rhetoric. He may or may not be speaking on substance. That does not mean that Mr. Gandhi is putting us on the back foot. He can go on the front foot as much as he wants. But if the balls are not coming on the pitch, he could be waving his bat in the air.
Nalin Kohli, you are getting worked up. My question is tonight to all of you, and please, Mr. Nalin Kohli, why are you being worked up tonight? Last night you were cool. Tonight you seem agitated.
I was being forceful. I told you last night also I'm willing to bat on the front foot.
Okay, I won't ask you who you're taking a cue from. Jyotiraditya Scindia responding to you. And then we are opening it up. Meghnath Desai joining us from London.
As far as the farmers concerned, the Agricultural Ministry and the new Niti Aayog has very clearly said, do not come to us. First, use your state disaster relief fund, then use your calamity fund, and only then come to us after you show us the UCs of your SDRF and your calamity fund. This has never happened before, number one. Number two, when the farmer is in crisis, you pass regulations of the FCI saying anything above moisture content of 12 to 14% will not be taken, whereas you're importing grain from Australia. Number three,
what is your chart, sir? Make it specifically.
Crop that is damaged, 10 to 50%, you will get 75% less of MSP price. So what are you leaving the farmer with? Committing suicide, 5,000 farmers over the last 10 months?
Well, you know, it's fascinating to hear about concern for the farmers when the greatest agrarian distress and the pitiable condition they are in is because of the lack of governance that we've seen for so long. Now, certainly we've been in power for 10 months, but are you trying to tell us that everything that has happened only in the last 10 months? This could only be a slate model, where in a village school you give a child a slate, teach him ABCD, wipe that slate off and then teach him DEEF. Basically, the Congress party is hoping to wipe the slate off because now they are not in power. So when they want to claim credit for all the good things and the lineage starting from Jawaharlal Nehru till today, what happens to all the omissions and commissions? And where was the farmer when all the scams were happening? Did they take the consent of any farmers when they were looking at the coal mines being given away for a pittance or free of cost? These are all basically relaunching, and you only relaunch something that hasn't taken off. Otherwise, I have not seen so far in my limited understanding of political history the same leader being relaunched again and again to prove a point that he is a leader.
Are you running away from the issue, Mr. Kohli, because you don't want to address it? Nalin Kohli,
they are running away from the issue again.
Ask me a question.
I want to answer with facts.
I'm sitting here. I'll answer you.
I want to answer with facts.
You want this whole debate on the land bill?
No, Nalin Kohli, I'm inviting. 1 second. I'm inviting Rajiv Desai, Chairman and CEO of Comma Consulting, leans towards the Congress party, and on this issue, I think leaning towards the BJP
can I just make a point?
Meghnath Desai from London. Of course, you can respond. The two gentlemen joining us right now, both on other sides. Meghnath Desai, don't look so glum. You may not agree with Jyotiraditya Scindia.
I just want to respond.
So glum. Yes, Jyotiraditya, go ahead.
Arnab, I just want to respond.
I can't even hear it.
In NDA 1, their agricultural growth rate was 2.6%. In the two UPA governments, agricultural growth rate was 4.2%. And now in the last 10 months, it's fallen to 1.1%. That's point number one. Point number two, agricultural growth credit has grown by 700%
Mr. Scindia,
Mr. Scindia,
Mr. Scindia.
And BJP has only grown it by 5%. in the last 1 year from 8 lakh crores to 8 lakh 50 crores. MSP prices have
Mr.
doubled
Scindia.
and gone up 2.5 times.
Mr.
And they
Scindia.
have increased MSP prices only 25%
Right.
of what we increased in the last 1 year.
Yeah, Mr. Scindia, I love it when a Congress party pulls out statistics
Mr.
because I
Goswami,
remember a Congress
request.
party of
Mr.
the past
Goswami, a
when the
personal
CAG
request.
pulled
Just a
out
moment, a personal
statistics would
request.
say statistics
Mr.
damn
Goswami,
lies and
I'm
statistics
having
we
an
don't
audio
believe
issue.
them. But I would like Meghnad Desai and Rajiv Desai.
Mr. Goswami,
I would like the two
I'm having an audio issue.
Desais.
If I may request
I would
you-
like the two
if I may
Desais
request
to
you
join the
ask your-
debate.
if
Can
you
can the
ask
two
your
Mr.
technical team.
Desais come into the debate?
Just a moment, Mr. Goswami, so that this debate goes on smoothly. I'm making a personal request.
Are you threatening that if I
getting
don't let
audio
you, you
rather-
won't let it go on smoothly?
It's almost like bursting. I'm not. No, I can hear you clearly, but I'm not able to hear Mr. Scindia clearly.
Are you pretending
Just
not
if
to
those
hear
audio
him?
levels could be done so that I can follow everything that he's saying.
Same thing here.
No, Mr. Goswami, I
Same
don't
thing
lie.
here.
I'm sorry, I don't lie.
Okay, Mr. Kohli, I'm opening this up. Meghnad
Now that
Desai.
Lord Meghnad Desai said, are you going to extend the same thing?
Okay, so Meghnad Desai, Jyotiraditya Scindia says, we made agriculture grow at 4%, you killed it at 1%, you're anti-farmer, we're pro-farmer, this is a pro-corporate, pro-rich government that is in cahoots to make these changes to the land bill. Your response, please. And Rajiv Desai, by the way, it's an open debate, feel free to come in. Meghnad Desai, please.
I think first of all, one must remember that there were farmer suicides under Congress government, and Congress also caused the highest rate of inflation over the last 4 years by continually increasing minimum support prices. So Congress has yet to explain the inflation they caused, which went on for four years. Secondly, Rahul Gandhi has a strong anti-development record. He said in Nyamgiri he wanted the tribals to remain backwards.
Rajiv Desai, countering
he
you, sir.
stopped all kinds of projects for
Congress
environmental
does not
things.
need
Poor
to
Jayanti
explain it.
Natarajan,
It
poor Jayanti
answered the
Natarajan had to be
question.
sacked.
It lost the
when
election.
Rahul
Why
Gandhi
are you
changed
going
his
on
mind.
and on,
So
beating a dead horse?
Congress has been
Meghnad bhai, હવે બહુ થયું, બંધ કરો.
Yes.
બંધ કરો હવે. હવે કોંગ્રેસ bashing બંધ કરો. Congress is not in power. હારી ગઈ Congress. So stop it. Stop going on and on about this like beating a
stop.
dead horse.
Stopped.
You know,
Stop.
when I see the reaction,
Stop.
Arnab, there's no question, yes, that I do lean towards the Congress, but I'm also a professional, and when I see the reaction of the BJP spokesman today on your channel and all other channels, the word that comes to mind is discombobulate. They're discombobulated. They have no idea. They're foaming at the mouth. They're bringing on stuff that is completely irrelevant. Now, from my point of view, what Mr. Gandhi has done is nailed the lie, the lie that was being told. For example, his speech had a very strong political content. He said, Mr. Modi is a calculating politician. So why alienate farmers and farm workers who form 60% of the population? And that leads to the answer, Arnab. Well, he is beholden to some powerful interest.
Name that.
Why would he obviously give up a political scoring point?
Which interest?
Number two,
No, which
a strong
interest?
ideological content.
Mr. Desai, 1
He
minute.
told-
Mr.
he
Rajiv
told-
Desai.
he told Mr. Modi,
Mr. Rajiv Desai,
Mr.
sorry.
Modi,
Sorry,
please
Mr.
change
Desai.
sides.
No, Mr. Desai, 1 minute.
Anji.
Just hold yourself for a minute. I've had the pleasure of knowing you for almost
Now that
20
the
years.
sugar
I've known
syrup is over,
Jyotiraditya
even I'd like to have a word.
for an equally long time. May I ask both of you gentlemen, I've never known you gentlemen to be, avoiding direct specific points. If you had them, it appears to be tonight. Mr. Rajiv Desai, you have become like a politician. You say you're not with the Congress party, but you're taking such a political line that you don't have any fact to back up what you just said.
Arnab,
furnish
don't put
proof.
words in my mouth.
Furnish proof.
Don't put
He's
words
entitled to
in
do
my
that, isn't
mouth.
Furnish proof.
I came here, your people told me you're coming here as a professional.
Absolutely.
I'm a professional in political communications, and I'm giving you my assessment of Mr. Gandhi's speech
Mr.
as a
Desai.
political communicator.
Mr. Desai.
I'm not involved in farm
No,
prices
Mr.
and
Desai,
support
but tell me
prices.
one thing. As a
Well, I wear
communicator.
suit and boot.
No, as a communicator. Fine, as a communicator, can either you or Jyotiraditya?
Yes.
Giving lessons to Mr. Gandhi?
Yes.
No, if I may please, Mr. Kohli, hold your attack back.
No.
I'm asking both Rajiv Desai and Jyotiraditya Scindia a simple question.
Have I what?
Can you or Mr. Scindia
What?
furnish proof that the land acquisition ordinance is being pushed through the behest of certain corporates. And don't you think, Mr. Scindia, as well, that it is your responsibility, Mr. Scindia, to bring proof in the public domain? Because for 2 days, if Rahul Gandhi says it's at the behest of some corporate interest, Mr. Scindia, produce the proof. Produce the proof right now on the Newshour. Produce the proof to back your charge. Or
Well,
take it back.
did you
So 2
ever
points.
ask the other side
Point number
when
one.
they made these wild accusations? Did you ask them the same question?
No, you're making the accusation, so you produce proof, Mr. Desai. Okay, Mr. Scindia.
I'm not making any
Okay, so
accusation.
point number one.
I'm merely making an assessment of Mr. Gandhi's speech.
Okay, that now you're camouflaging it. 1 second. Yes, Mr. Scindia, you're making the charge,
Go ahead,
so you
Gandhi.
produce proof.
So 2 points. Number one, when multiple print media newspapers have also brought to the fore that you have close to 95,000 hectares of land with multiple state governments that today is lying unutilized. You have a tremendous amount of barren land in this country also that is unutilized. Why are you going ahead with a land acquisition law that takes away all forms of consent, all forms of social impact assessment, when you actually haven't used the land that you have in your control at this point of time? It's obviously to ensure that you hand over this land to the corporate sector to make sure that you appease them in some way or the
Mr.
other.
Scindia, sorry. No, Mr. Scindia. When you say it is obvious, what you're
Goswami, I'd
saying
like to
tonight
answer
to me
that.
is, I don't have the proof, but I'm guessing.
That
That's
is
what
our
you're saying.
insinuation and that is our allegation.
You're saying I don't have the
Yes,
proof,
it is.
but I'm guessing.
And I
Rahul
stand by
Gandhi
that.
does not have the proof, but Rahul Gandhi is
That is, no, I'm not guessing. That's my allegation. That is the Congress party's allegation and insinuation.
No, what, on the basis of what proof?
Why else would you take away the consent clause?
That's guesswork.
Why else
Guess
would you
what?
take away the consent clause?
Okay, Mr.
It is obviously for their stakeholders who they ingratiated
Which
to.
stakeholders?
The corporate sector.
Name one.
Why else would you take away? Why else would you take away a farmer's land without his consent and without a social impact assessment? That right is the farmer's.
Right,
And you're going to take away his land without asking him for his consent.
So whenever you're disadvantaging a farmer, you're saying it is, if you're disadvantaging him knowingly, then you're doing it at the behest
Yes,
of
it
corporates.
is. When you have a land bank, Arnab, when you have a 90,000 hectare land bank which is present today,
I need to
why
answer
don't you
this.
set up those projects
happened
first?
in
I have
Gujarat,
counters, but I'll let
Arnab.
Nalin
It's
Kohli and
happened in
Meghnad Desai
Gujarat.
come in. Mr. Meghnad Desai first and Nalin Kohli, I'm coming to you. Meghnad Desai, not convinced?
Well, let's go one by one. The critical question here, Mr. Goswami, is when was this land acquired and in whose tenure 7 lakh crores of projects has been kept pending? Certainly the Congress UPA. Let's go to the question of consent. Has the consent been removed for those who acquire land privately? That is also in the new act or in the new ordinance.
can I
It's
say one
clear.
thing?
Any land being acquired for private purposes requires it. Number 3, why did the Congress party exclude 13 acts which were for highways, for railways, for mines, where maximum amount of acquisition takes place?
No, it could
from
not-
the
he could not
purview
be
of
Okay, Nalin
2013
Kohli,
bill.
1 second, please.
Does it-
Counter
Are these
from
13
Jyotiraditya
acts not
Scindia.
included in the 2014 bill? So has not the scope been expanded?
This
And last
is
of all,
complete
what is this wild
misleading and
allegations that the Congress party is
misinformation
saying?
by
They will
my
attack
good
corporate
friend
India and
Nalin
say,
Kohli.
No, we also want
rubbish.
jobs. No, Mr.
This is complete misinformation. Arnab, I have faith
No,
in
Mr.
your
Kohli,
due
Mr.
diligence.
Kohli has a right to rebut you.
Mr.
He has a right
please
to
come in
rebut
with
you,
your
Mr.
facts after I
Kohli.
finish.
And I'm allowing it. Jyotiraditya
I have
Scindia
faith in
rebutting
your
Nalin
due
Kohli.
diligence.
Yes, Mr.
Wow.
Scindia.
Arnab, pick up the
Hold on. If it's this
2013
kind of debate, I'm
Land
happy to rebut
Acquisition Act.
consistently.
You will
No matter
see in
whenever
there.
Mr. Scindia speaks, I'll be happy to rebut.
You will see in there it's
Mr.
very clearly written.
Mr. Scindia,
They are very
Mr.
clearly
Kohli,
foaming
listen
at
to
the
him.
mouth.
Benefit of the
My
audience.
my
Let us go
sympathy is
one
with
by
them.
one.
Mr. Kohli,
They are on
listen
the
to him.
back
Benefit of
foot.
the audience.
They are not
Mr.
even
Kohli,
on
listen
the
to
back
him.
foot.
Listen to him, please.
They are now realizing what it means to be on the back foot. But let me say very clearly, if you take out and do your due diligence and look at the 2013 Act, it's very clearly written in the 2013 Act that these 13 acts will form part of the Land Acquisition Act within a period of 1 year.
Whether he can back it up with any facts, whether he can back it up with any consistency, and whether he can
Arnab,
show his
can I make a
experience. So
larger
far, we
point
know his
here?
experience is limited. visit to Australia, perhaps Bangkok. And we do know that in 2008 he went to Niyamgiri, and in 2011 he went to Bhatta Parsol. So for this vast experience that he's had on farmers' issues, let us see how consistent he is.
Mr. Kohli,
let him do his work.
The only response that the BJP has on national television is obfuscating from the facts.
Benefit of the nation. But the government is not going to listen only to rhetoric and allegations.
Mr. Kohli, you have gone on non-stop, and I must
Because they have no response. Your government doesn't have a response.
1 second. Jyotiraditya, say, may I compliment Nalin Kohli for his ability to speak non-stop without drawing his breath? Mr. Kohli, you've spoken non-stop without drawing your breath for the longest time. That's a world record. Now, Meghnad Desai wants to come in. Meghnad Desai, yes, please. Mr. Meghnad Desai.
I was not doing
two things to say. Two things to say. Congress had not passed any pro-farmer legislation till 2013, and the 2013 Act has never been implemented. So whatever they may criticize BJP for, their act had not been implemented. Right? That's first thing. Secondly, the only change is that the percentage of people approving of a project has been reduced.
No, sir.
It is not that farmers are not being consulted.
No, sir.
Lastly, if there is all that barren land lying around, why didn't the Congress start project on it? They were 10 years in power. Why are they now pointing out to barren land?
Who's answering that?
What is this? I think, let this bill go through because it will speed up growth in this country.
1 second.
Which we badly need to remove poverty.
Your argument
there
was...
is no contradiction
your argument...
between pro-business and being anti-poor. You can be pro-business, pro-growth and anti-poor.
No. What Jyotiraditya Scindia raises his hand, but your argument was called a lame argument by your friend Rajiv Desai. Rajiv Desai, why do you think Meghnad Desai's argument is a lame argument?
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a larger issue here. Mr. Gandhi seems to have taken on the side of angels. All over the world, there's a growing revulsion to the relationship between elected governments and shall I say, corporate interests in the United States, in Europe, everywhere. And that is why when Mr. Desai, Lord Desai, Meghnad, we've met before, when he makes these arguments, I say they're lame, because the fact of the matter is what Rahul Gandhi raised, that you have 60% of the population that belongs to the farm and farming community. Why would a clever politician that the Prime Minister has demonstrated to have been, why would he suddenly just throw them aside and say, the hell with you? So obviously, he is answering to some larger
because he wants to
interests.
raise the standard of living
that's the thing.
of that 60%.
It's okay. It's okay to be discombobulated. All bullies try and hammer and harass people who they think are weaker than they.
He doesn't want to confine them to poverty. He wants to raise the living standards. He wants to bring growth
to the country. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? They become discombobulated and they foam at the mouth, they froth at the mouth. They don't know where to look. They don't know what to say. It's the bully syndrome.
Congress has been relying on corporate interests for a very long time.
Okay, we're coming back. We're coming back for one last round between Jyotiraditya Scindia and Nalin Kohli. 1 second. Nalin Kohli, you must listen.
And what is this foaming in the mouth and frothing in the mouth? I mean, is he dealing with some kind of a patient or something like that, foaming in the mouth?
That's what you're doing.
That is what you're doing. Words to add to his vocabulary.
That is what you're doing.
Then the second point, let's go back to facts. On that aside, to move to an important point.
You don't have to teach me vocabulary, Mr.
Lord
Kohli.
Meghnad Desai raised an important point. Why did they not build projects on barren land?
Okay,
absolutely,
Mr. Kohli.
Point. But Mr. Rahul Gandhi is on the record to have said, I have a map in my head for infrastructure. It was about 3-4 years ago. So while the bees were buzzing and he saw India as a beehive,
Mr. Kohli, can you cut back the sarcasm and come to the point? 1 second. Mr. Kohli, allow me. I am Mr. Kohli. Mr. Kohli, may I concede? Mr. Kohli's
comment does not require substantiation of facts, because every time we speak of facts, he says you are foaming at the mouth.
It just goes on and on and on.
1 second. Okay, so Mr.
I thought I'll give him also a dose of political communication.
Okay, 1 second, please. Nalin Kohli and Jyotiraditya Scindia in this last part of this particular debate. Mr. Scindia, I see your hand go up. You want to make a point? Or can I ask at least one question?
Can I just say something? Can I just say something? The farmers are going through distress and suicide just now. You have not increased MSP in the last 10 months. You have done away with the practice of giving farmers bonus. You are not giving them fertilizer. You're caning them when they queue up for fertilizer, which is their right, because of your wrong import policy in the months of November and December as opposed to June, July, August and September. You have taken away, now you want to take away their land. What are the farmers left with, which are 65% of this country's population? The farmers are crying out in distress.
Mr.
And
Scindia,
Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister, is
Mr.
touring
Scindia,
countries abroad.
may I ask
that
you a counter
is the condition
question?
and the plight of the
Mr.
farmers
Scindia.
today, Arnab, which needs to be addressed.
Mr. Scindia.
And as far as Lord Desai's comment on the
Mr.
bill,
Scindia.
the very fact that he said that the 2013
I have
bill
a question
has
for
not
you,
had
Mr.
time
Scindia.
to be enacted,
I
which
have
is
a question
exactly
for
the
you,
point
Mr.
that we
Scindia.
are making, that allow this bill to be enacted and allow it
No,
to
one
work,
second. Nalin
and
Kohli.
only then refine it if required.
No, Nalin Kohli, 1 minute. Hold yourself back because I have a question for Mr. Scindia. I must be allowed it because otherwise he's going to go away. I know he's got to go away, but I won't let him go away without answering one question. Mr. Scindia, you spoke today of a suit boot ki sarkar. 1 second. No, 1 second. Just a minute. Mr. Scindia, you spoke today about a suit boot ki sarkar. Right? So my question to you is, sir, will you tell me, was it a suit boot ki sarkar that gave that land in Shikopur village where the Congress-led Haryana government sanctioned Robert Vadra's company Skylight Hospitality projects at breakneck speed?
Oh, phooey.
No, why? It's a most relevant question. It's a question
Well,
of
I don't
approach.
think you. I don't think.
Arnab,
No, I don't
No,
think.
I'm
I don't
bringing
think
out
that's
the
a
irony
relevant
in the
question,
Congress
nor
party's-
is it fair. Those two facts are completely different. The fact
Sir,
is
no,
that
sir,
you
they are
have
not.
cut down
No,
on
they're
education
not.
spend. You have cut down on health
No, they're
spend.
not.
You have cut down on MSP
Arnab,
prices.
no,
you
they're
cut
not.
down across the board.
No,
So
are
it
you
is
saying-
a suit and boot ki sarkar.
No, you tell me,
I need
Mr.
to comment
Mr.
also on
Jyotiraditya Scindia. 1 second. Are you saying today, I can tell you that the
That
Congress...
is that is something which has been done completely legally and following due process.
Oh.
If you and I want to engage on a conversation on that, I'm more than
No, I'll
happy
give
to
you
do
one
that.
more example because I'm asking you, was it a suit boot ki sarkar, which is the Congress-led Maharashtra
Mr.
government?
Goswami, may I have a comment?
No, 1
That's
second.
not even relevant, Arnab.
No, it is relevant,
That's
Mr.
not relevant.
Desai, and let me tell you why. I
That's
know that the
not
Congress
relevant.
government, the Congress
No, it's
government in
not.
Maharashtra.
Why bring that up?
Why
I mean,
heckle me?
That has nothing. You called us here to discuss Rahul Gandhi.
Sir, I'm discussing
Well,
the
why are you
distress of
bringing up
farmers who
something
Rahul Gandhi is speaking
irrelevant?
about, and I'm simply.
Anyway, Arnab, go ahead with your question.
I'm being heckled. I'm being heckled on the Newshour tonight.
Why would a politically savvy party neglect the interests of 67% of the population?
Mr.
Why
Rajiv
would a
Desai.
politically savvy party neglect the interests of
Mr.
67%
Desai,
of the population?
Mr. Desai,
for the last 10 years.
Mr. Desai, I'm in a weird position tonight where you're heckling me on the program,
Where
not
was
letting
Mr.
me
Desai
speak.
when the Congress neglected
Jyotiraditya
it for the
Scindia
last
wants
10
to take
years?
the question. So, Mr. Scindia, last question.
So I've got to
No, 1
Well,
second. On the suit
Mr.
boot ki sarkar,
Goswami,
last question to
you can dish
Jyotiraditya
it out,
Scindia,
so
please
you have
stay.
to take
1
it.
second. My question to Jyotiraditya Scindia is this. Was it a suit boot ki sarkar, Jyotiraditya Scindia, which in Maharashtra, Congress, rich man sarkar
just
in
what
August, let me complete. August 2014 reportedly lowered the compensation for farmers from 4 times the market value to 2.2 times the market value in August 2014. I'm asking you, did you have a suit boot ki sarkar in Maharashtra? Same analogy, same
Not at all.
case,
We had a
same
government.
subjects.
We had a government that worked for the interest
Was it a suit
of the
boot ki
downtrodden
government?
and the poor and the farmers, and that is not at all. It is the central government and the state governments have always worked for the interests of the farmers and the marginalized sections, and we have the number of schemes that you and I have discussed on many shows.
All right, Jyotiraditya Scindia and Nalin Kohli, thank you very much. Opening up to the second panel. Jyotiraditya Scindia, thank you very much. Now, Congress Party represented at this part of the debate by Gaurav Gogoi of the Congress Party. Nalin Kohli, thank you very much. We have Aman Sinha replacing him of the BJP. Kumar Ketkar with us here. And of course, sparring partners Meghnad Desai and Rajiv Desai. The two Mr. Desais on the program tonight. Let us continue the debate. Kumar Ketkar, you seem extremely pleased with Rahul Gandhi's performance. Is that a bias that you're reflecting?
Yes, absolutely. I am
A bias for Rahul Gandhi?
Well, you can call it bias, or you
Are you
can
going
call
to
it
say-
appreciation, or you can call it also that my prediction came correct.
What prediction?
That Rahul will perform.
As we perform, 190-minute speech, 121-minute speech, you call that performance?
See, he put the BJP on defensive, he put the government on defensive in just one speech, or two speeches, yesterday and today. Why are they, as somebody was saying, foaming?
Okay.
They are completely on defensive, and now they are trying to fix.
Discombobulated.
They are trying to say that what was he doing in 57 days, what was he doing before, how many sessions he attended, all that All that bakwas has been stopped
Okay,
now
what are you going
by
to
just
do?
one speech. So if you say I am pleased, yes, I openly concede I am pleased by Rahul Gandhi's speech.
Okay, Aman Sinha, are you totally on the back foot here right now? You're being accused of being anti-farmer. You're being accused of being pro-rich, pro-corporate. You've changed your position on the land bill multiple times. Rahul Gandhi is daring Narendra Modi literally into a debate. In 2 days, 2 speeches, one 19-minute, one 21-minute, they're on the front foot, you're totally on the back foot. We don't even know, Aman Sinha, what you're going to do now. Because if you
That's
make the
absolutely
changes,
incorrect,
because if you make the changes, it's Rahul
Yes.
Gandhi's victory. If
Let
you
me-
don't
let
make
me
the
say then.
changes, you'll still be cornered.
No, the changes, the amendments which I brought in to the land ordinance are all pro-farmer, pro-poor and pro-development
It's a
amendments.
standard
Now, as
BJP
far as
line.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi is concerned, it was another listless, incoherent performance and not a single constructive suggestion with respect to plight of the farmers or
You repeat a
improvement
lie
of lives of the
endlessly and it
farmers.
becomes the
He
truth.
was just
giving
going on
constructive
rhetoric and,
suggestion to Narendra Modi to
absolutely
respect.
unsubstantiated
He
facts.
was giving constructive-
Imagine the situation. Mr. Ketkar, do not interrupt now. Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who has taken Congress to its all-time low, is giving suggestions to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has won the biggest election of this world and taken
What is
BJP
your
NDA to
argument?
340. He's giving
Is your
electoral
argument that
tips.
the government is above suggestions?
What is this? What is
Did
this
you just
mockery
say that
he's
because of
making
the
out
mandate you're
himself?
above suggestions?
The argument is that the BJP is absolutely clear what it is doing. The amendments that we have brought in are all pro-farmer, pro-development.
Then why were you
and pro-poor
anti-farmer earlier?
changes.
Then
If
why were you
anybody
anti-farmer
wants
earlier?
to argue with
Then
me,
why were you
point by
anti-farmer
point, I'm
earlier?
willing to
Then
respond.
why were you anti-farmer earlier, Mr. Aman Sinha? Answer my question.
You are not
No,
anti-farmer
one second.
earlier.
Why were you anti-farmer
No,
earlier?
The simple
Absolutely not.
question is,
That
the
was
simple
a
question is you
Congress bill.
brought the amendments.
I'm
You
gonna-
brought the
I'm gonna-
amendments,
I'm
which
gonna-
means they were not there.
From 1894.
You brought the amendments which are pro-poor and pro-farmer.
Everyone don't speak together. One second.
Land Acquisition
keep
Act
repeating a
was
lie. I hope it
120
becomes
years
true.
old. It was incumbent upon all legislators of the country.
Mr. Aman
to change that.
Sinha, Mr. Sinha, I am Mr.
Archaic,
Sinha.
obsolete, outdated legislation.
Mr. Sinha, I am aware that you have a written script on this
heard that
subject that the
argument in
BJP
the
has
other
given you
channel, Mr.
tonight.
Sinha.
But I request you, Gaurav Gogoi raises his hand, Gaurav coming to you,
Which
but
is
I
the written
request,
script?
I request you,
Please pan your camera. No,
Mr.
no.
Mr. Sinha.
Please do not make such allegations.
Mr. Sinha, I'm not making an allegation,
Now-
I'm making a
now
pertinent
please allow me to
observation. There is a
respond.
difference
How this
between
is
the two.
pro-farmer.
Now answer the question, Mr. Sinha, please. Mr.
somebody
Sinha, answer the
speak.
question
No.
and Gaurav Gogoi will
Please,
respond.
Let me say, Arnab, that the 90% of potential acquisitions were left out of the domain of the UPA 2013 statute. We
Are you
have
answering my
included 12
question?
new
Are you not?
statutes.
Now we have two options.
Under which about
Now we have two
90%
options,
of
Mr.
acquisitions
Sinha.
take place.
Mr. Sinha.
Under UPA scheme, they were giving
Mr. Sinha, may I
compensation
request you?
on 120-year-old
Mr.
rates
Sinha, Mr. Sinha.
by the 1894 statute.
Okay, so Mr. Sinha, can I just, please, will you hear me
The
for a
Congress
minute?
party is aware
Mr. Sinha, are you
that
going
the
to...
changes in the Land Amendment Act
Are
will
you-
lead to massive growth and development
Mr.
in the
Sinha,
rural
are you open to-
infrastructure, and it will lead to
Mr.
decimation of the Congress
Mr.
party.
Sinha, I am afraid this is not an answer, this is a speech.
Yes, Arnab, yes.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, let's not speak over each other. I have
What
something
speech?
to say to Aman
Please
Sinha.
ask me.
Aman Sinha.
I'm only giving you the points how this bill is better than the 2013 UPA
Mr.
bill.
Sinha, you seem to be under a mistaken assumption that you're all in parliament making a 21-minute speech like Rahul Gandhi, but this is the Newshour. I ask questions, you give answers, sir, with respect. And my question to you now
Newshour is also
now,
pretty
now one
important,
second,
Arnab.
Mr. Sinha, please. You see,
Yes.
the point is, you were either
Yes.
right then or you're right now.
Yes.
You were either Mr. Sinha, let me
was a
complete.
120-year-old law
Now, don't
which
interrupt me, please.
which
Mr.
needed to be
Sinha,
changed.
you're
And
interrupting
that
me,
was
and
an
I'm not being able
improvement over
to. I think I need to
120-year-old
make my
law.
point to the viewers tonight.
Backfoot.
Mr. Sinha,
I've
you
got your question, Arnab.
No, you've not got
I'm
my
not
question.
taking direct questions.
The question is very simple, and the question is this, sir: if you were right,
Arre, who is this?
if you are right
Arnab
now,
does not need any help to ask questions.
Mr. Sinha, will you please allow me? I mean, it's difficult. See, if you are saying you're right now, that means you were wrong then. If you're saying
please go
that
ahead.
you're wrong now, you were right then. But
No,
you seem to
absolutely
be
not.
of a mistaken belief.
We
You were
made
right
an
then
improvement
and you are
over
right now, which is
120-year-old
not
statute,
possible.
which
Now,
was
Mr.
incumbent
Sinha,
upon
my
all
question is
legislators
to
of
you.
the country to do
My
so.
question to you
And
tonight, the
thereafter
question
we
the
have
whole
made an
country is asking
improvement
tonight, Mr.
over
Sinha.
2013 statute.
You'll have to listen to me.
Because it was unworkable,
Mr. Sinha,
untenable.
Mr. Sinha,
the
if it was-
statute has about 60 appalling mistakes.
Really? And you were part of the mistakes. You passed them in Parliament. Why did you pass mistakes in Parliament?
No.
No, absolutely not. It is the duty of the government It is the duty of the government.
Did you
to
support it?
conceptualize the statute.
Did you support it? Gaurav Gogoi.
And then represent the bill.
Gaurav Gogoi, interesting point
Did he
tonight on
pass
the
mistakes
Newshour.
then?
I let Gaurav Gogoi come in. Gaurav Gogoi, the BJP says tonight that that was your bill. They may have supported it, but it was not their bill. This is their bill. They have completely on the Newshour dissociated themselves from the bill that they supported a year and a half back. Gaurav Gogoi, your response to the BJP's third change of position happening on the Newshour tonight.
dissociate.
Gaurav Gogoi.
We are making an improvement
Mr.
over
Goswami,
that.
I have to make a very simple statement
only
over here.
amendments, Arnab.
Mr. Rahul Gandhi gave them a left punch yesterday at the Ramlila Maidan. He gave a right punch today inside the parliament. Now this left-right punch combination has left them completely dazed. They have forgotten they have supported the bill in 2013. Now they are thinking that this bill is better. Now they have, sorry, Mr. Sinha, I did not disturb you, so please do not interrupt me. Now, may I make a very simple point? They talk about this bringing these 13 legislations under the ambit of the new ordinance.
Language. What
Has,
do you mean by
has the BJP
punches?
not read the legislation? Has the BJP not read the 2013 legislation, especially the section where it says that these 13 new laws will be brought under the ambit within 1 year? Have they not read that section? And in case they did want to amend that section,
were not.
Who told them to remove consent? Who told them to remove social impact assessment? Were farmers crying for that? Were farmers on the street protesting?
Nobody removed consent.
Did a lot of farmers go
Absolutely
to
incorrect.
Prime Minister Modi
this is the kind of false propaganda that Congress party indulges into. Consent clause has not at all been removed.
This is an outcome of the Prime Minister.
Consent clause is applicable to all the
Mr. Sinha, Mr. Sinha, 1 second. Mr. Sinha, 1 minute.
Please,
1 minute. This is a serious.
Prime Minister, please take farmers on your jet planes and on your trips to Australia. Please do not take industrialists. Spend a little less time with industrialists.
Gaurav Gogoi, strong language being used. Yesterday, the Prime Minister said that perverted minds are opposing the land bill, and today on the program, the BJP spokesperson is accusing the Congress spokesperson of lying. I think we're going to have to settle that. Who's lying and who's not? Ladies and gentlemen, who's lying? Is Gaurav Gogoi lying or is Aman Sinha lying? Who's lying, Meghnad Desai?
Somebody is dazed.
Who's lying?
Is misleading.
Who's lying
Somebody
tonight?
is inconsistent, and the public.
No, 1 second. When you mention the consent clause.
That is not the word.
No, 1 second. Aman Sinha,
But they are
please.
indeed misleading.
Aman
Misleading
Sinha.
yet again.
Aman Sinha, if you are accusing the Congress spokesperson of lying,
Arnab.
Very economical with the truth.
then you'll have to back it
Make up
up.
your mind.
Yes.
Are you
Misleading.
for the bill? Are you against
Yes,
the bill?
he is.
Tomorrow again you will
Consent clause
change your
has not been
position.
removed. That is an incorrect. That is absolutely an incorrect allegation. Only mere exceptions have been created to the consent clause. And in any case,
Meghnad
earlier
Desai.
all the government projects
Meghnad
were exempt
Desai.
from the consent clause.
Meghnad
He
Desai.
makes a misleading statement when he says that consent clause has been removed.
Listening to the concern.
That is
Aman Sinha, don't speak
incorrect.
ad
It does
nauseum
not have
over the
the
Congress
time to
spokesperson,
listen to
please.
farmers. It does not have the time to meet the farmers. It does not have the time to go and
can't
visit
hear
those
what
lands where farmers are committing suicide. Mr. Prime Minister, I would request you, we appreciate your
Narendra
foreign
Modi
trips
ji has
abroad,
been
but please
elected
spend a
Prime
little more
Minister of
time
this country
visiting farmers who
by
are committing
large population
suicide.
of this country, which includes all the farmers predominantly. He does not need a certificate from you. You make a pomp and show about going to farmers' houses and eating there. You are not interested in addressing anything. You just
Your
make a
Prime
mockery
Minister,
of
the
farmers
Prime Minister is
and
telling the
poor people.
ministers
This is
now
what you are doing.
to eat food at Dalit houses. Why does the Prime Minister need to tell its party members to eat food at Dalit houses?
Yes,
Please
we will
stop
go
such
when we believe
symbolic
in it, we will
devices.
go.
Please stop such symbolic
Because we believe in
devices.
it.
You have been in
Not to-
government for
we
more
are
than
not
10
going
months
with press
now.
and cameraman.
Stop giving speeches
Like Rahul
and
Gandhi and
telling
you,
farmers
what all
to be
you have been
patient.
doing.
They are committing
Please
suicide.
give me one
Please deliver
point,
results.
Arnab.
You showed
Was
such
there one
emergency.
concrete
You showed
suggestion
such
that
alacrity
Rahul Gandhi
at
gave
responding
with
to the
respect
concerns
to
of business?
improvement of
But when it comes to the problem,
Gentlemen, 1 minute. 1 minute. Just can we go back to the subject? What do people want to know? 1 second. Gaurav Gogoi and Aman Sinha, I pull you back for a moment. What do people want to know? A change has been made? 100% a change has been made. Now I need to know, Meghnad Desai, why the change has been made. Somebody can say that we suddenly got enlightenment. Or the BJP can turn around and say we suddenly realized that this is the right thing to do.
It's very simple.
My question tonight is, Lord Desai, allow me to at least to you, let me frame the question. My question is, if changes have been made, what explains the fact that the BJP has changed from fighting for mandating 80% of landowners to diluting the consent clause so as to rob farmers' right of consent in 5 crucial sectors? If these changes, if these exemptions are not being made for corporates, if these changes are not being made for industrialists, if these changes are not being made for wealthy investors?
No,
then
not.
tell me, Meghnad
Changes
Desai,
are being
who
made
are
for
these changes
farmers.
being made for?
Changes are being made for poor.
Who are these changes
Changes
being
are
made
being
for?
made
That
for
question
the-
goes to Meghnad Desai.
Let me point this
For
out.
the farmers, for the
Can I-
poor,
can I say this?
for the
Aman
massive
Sinha, please,
development
can I just have
Act.
only Meghnad Desai on the
especially
screen?
in the
Otherwise,
rural infrastructure area.
Can I?
can Meghnad
can I-
Desai speak? Can you please? Yeah.
The BJP agreed to 2013 Act, but the Prime Minister, after winning the election, decided and agreed with a lot of other people who had said the 2013 Act was anti-growth, anti-development.
No, so they didn't know this was
going to
anti-development
stop
earlier. One second,
any
Meghnad Desai.
infrastructural building.
Meghnad
A lot
Desai.
of people had said that.
No,
Now,
Meghnad Desai,
the
do you
bill
have any
has been
doubt,
changed.
Mr.
The
Desai?
bill has been changed.
No,
The
Mr.
BJP
Desai.
ought to openly say that they made a mistake supporting 2013.
No, Mr. Desai.
So now they have got a better bill.
No, Mr. Desai.
And they should also
Mr. Desai.
openly say that yes, it will bring infrastructure, it will bring manufacturing industry, and that's what India needs.
Mr.
because
Desai.
India has very low productivity.
Mr. Desai, the
agriculture.
question is of
Farmers are dying because they cannot make a decent living. What we need is better farming, but fewer farmers.
Mr.
And we
Desai.
need more manufacturing industry, more infrastructure. That's the only way farmers, farmers and everybody else will get a better living
Mr.
standard.
Meghnad
That's
Desai.
the only way every country in the world has grown.
No, Mr. Desai.
And
This is
India
a political
ought to now
party.
face the fact that we are backward and we have poverty because we have not grown enough, and this is the way to grow.
Mr.
BJP
Desai,
ought to say that openly,
Mr.
not
Desai.
going around sort of, prevaricating
Mr.
about
Desai, we are
why they have passed this 2014
Mr.
Act.
Desai, we are dealing with a political party, are we not? And the same political party, the BJP, as a counter argument to you, and Kumar Ketkar wants to come in, went to the extent of praising Jairam Ramesh for the way he pushed the bill in August 2013. Today, the same party stands resolved to dramatically change the contours of the same bill. So people will ask, were you deceiving the people then?
Exactly.
Or are you deceiving
You're
the
quite
people
right.
now?
They were wrong. They were wrong in 2013.
No,
They were wrong in 2013.
Lord Desai, there were two
Kumar
aspects.
Ketkar, Kumar Ketkar taking you on.
Lord
Kumar
Desai,
Ketkar.
there were
What's
two
the
Kumar
aspects.
Ketkar.
There was
Lord Desai, there were
120
two
year
aspects.
Kumar Ketkar, please
One was this consent clause about which they are saying they were wrong. The second was about the minimum support price. Last April, exactly 2014 April in Maharashtra, Narendra Modi gave speech saying that farmers must get minimum support price and we are promising them minimum support plus 50%. Wasn't that against growth? Wasn't that against development? If the current argument is true, there were two aspects. One was consent of the land and the second was about the minimum support price. Both issues have been completely sidelined, ignored,
Support price is
marginalized,
not part
and
of the
therefore
act.
in the name
Support price
of
is not
development,
part of the act.
no, and in the name of development,
Kumar,
they brought in the idea. They brought in the idea, Lord
support
Desai,
price is not
they
part
brought
of
in
the
the
act.
idea that 5 years later the land will be
Support
returned.
price is
which was-
not part of the act.
No, Lord Desai, there were two
Kumar
aspects
Ketkar,
to the agricultural
Kumar
sector.
Ketkar,
Two
Let's
aspects.
be reasonable.
No, but the farmers were
Kumar
committing
Ketkar,
suicide
I
primarily
said
because they
BJP
were
was
not
wrong
getting the
about
remunerative price.
2013.
Arnab, is my audio turned off?
Can I please say something? The minimum support price that the Congress paid caused inflation for 4 years in India, and it was exaggeratedly high. And I think it's good to have stopped.
You are not answering, sir. You're answering. This is not just about pure. No, this is not about Meghnad Desai. Meghnad Desai, this is not. No, 1 second, gentlemen, 1 second. May I come in and say one thing, Meghnad Desai? Will you hear me on this?
It benefited farmers at the time of global recession. At the time of global depression, the MSP policy of Congress party benefited farmers. It is shocking
Gaurav,
to see that this policy is being called as anti-India and anti-growth. It benefited farmers.
Can I
The entire world economy was down.
No. Okay, Meghnad Desai, you have a correction coming in from Kumar Ketkar. Yes.
Desai, only small correction.
The current
If
government
the
policies are
MSP, if the
putting
minimum support
farmers into
price
distress.
caused the inflation,
Current
if
government
minimum
policies are
support price
telling
caused the
farmers that,
economy,
listen,
then why
agriculture-
did Modi
minimum
actually
support price is
promise?
too high.
Modi promised more than minimum support price, 50% more than the minimum support price that the
That was a
Congress was
mistake.
giving.
He corrected.
He will give.
That was a
So
mistake.
was he not worried
corrected.
about inflation?
He said that before election. He corrected that mistake.
Sir,
No, that statement he has not corrected.
Okay, 1 second. Between the
He made a
journalist and the
mistake before the
economist,
election. He corrected
between the
the mistake.
journalist and the economist, I want to come in. And Aman Sinha, no, your audio is not down, but I'll have to get you and Gaurav Gogoi right now. You see, everyone speaks
I
over
don't
each
know
other.
the fight
Nobody
point
can
is
be
over.
heard. So Gaurav, when somebody is answering a question, is not appropriate for you to speak. But Aman Sinha and Gaurav Gogoi, I'm coming to you now. And Aman Sinha, please answer my question, sir. And I'm asking you a specific question. Please do not obfuscate,
go ahead.
do not dodge it, do not digress from it, do not make a speech in response. I will greatly appreciate, Aman Sinha, an answer from you tonight. And my question to you is this. Rajnath Singh said
I'm waiting.
in August 2013 that decisions on land should not be taken in haste. And he went on to say that mandating farmers' consent is absolutely necessary, August 2014. Right? Today we have a situation where the BJP government has gone to the extent of re-promulgating an ordinance which they could not push through in the last session. Does that not indicate haste? If it indicates haste, my only question to you is, and by the way, I'll give you one more example. Rajnath Singh also said, yes, sir, it's not wrong. I have the speech. I can send you a tape if you want. Rajnath Singh also said that farmers' interest should be above economic development. Farmers' interest should be above...
in courts as well.
Yeah. Gaurav, let him answer and then you can correct. And keep it short. He said farmers' interest should be above economic development in the context of the land bill. Today the BJP says this ordinance is because the country needs economic development. So my question to you, sir, were you deceiving people then or are you deceiving people now? Were you lying then or were you lying now? Were you wrong then or were you wrong now? Because it's not possible that you were
May I
wrong then
respond now
and
or
wrong
now?
now. Aman Sinha, on this one, you're really on the back foot, aren't you, tonight?
No, absolutely not. In fact, even in the present scheme of things, the farmers' interest, the interest of poor, they get a priority over all other issues. And let me also point out, my Congress friend is absolutely incorrect. The consent clause has not been taken out. Only some exceptions have been
5
created.
exceptions,
And
large
consent clause is
exceptions.
very
10
much
minutes
clear
remaining.
for all
Do
the
not
PPP
mislead.
projects.
Please do not mislead.
The exceptions are all governmental projects, projects related to defense, projects related to national security, to
They were
rural
already there.
infrastructure, to poor
was in
housing,
the old act as
to
well.
rural health care. These are the exceptions which have been created.
Infrastructure,
So
sir,
therefore,
industry,
Congress
sir.
party is again misleading.
Rural
And as far as
infrastructure.
as far as PPP is concerned,
Who's going to build that? Who's
each and
that
every
going to
clause
benefit? Who
as it was in
purpose will get
2013 bill still remains there. In all the PPP projects, the same provision of consent is very much applicable. This is a propaganda and a misleading, myth which has been spread by the Congress party, for which they have to answer. Why they are trying to mislead the
Sam,
people of this country.
let me.
Arnab, in my opinion, the writing is very clear on the wall. The Congress party believes and clearly knows that once these reforms are ushered in, there will be massive growth in the rural infrastructure, in the rural economy, and the Congress party will stand to lose one of
Sir,
their bastions.
I'll let the
and they will be
Congress party
decimated.
respond to you. I'll let the Congress party respond to you, but I will not take a factual inconsistency. Mr. Aman Sinha,
Yes,
I'd like to remind you that the words are defense
inconsistency?
exceptions, sir. Exceptions are for
Yes.
defense, rural infrastructure, affordable housing, industrial corridors, and infrastructure
right.
and social infrastructure.
right.
And by the way,
That's right.
you have refused to pointedly define what each of these
That's
categories are. In other words, you have not been able to assure the farmer that
They
their
are
interest will not be
self-explanatory.
negatively affected
They
by your
have-
ordinance
they have
to the
reduced
consent
Arnab,
clause.
please.
Now, Gaurav Gogoi
Under,
respond.
may I come in now?
Gaurav Gogoi.
All the
Gaurav Gogoi.
Come in now.
all
So
the
why are
PPP
you-
projects
Under
will
the-
still have consent clause
One of the
of the
reasons
same
why
extent. will have
thousands
the
of
social
farmers
Sir, you
were
have-
protesting on the
What are you
streets
saying,
of
Arnab?
Delhi
This
yesterday
is the same
was
misleading
because that
campaign
they had
which
seen
the
the
Congress
BJP
Now,
party
Aman,
is going
Aman,
into,
should you not
because
listen?
I don't
Winning,
expect
coming
you
to
to
power.
get carried away
May I speak
by the
without being
misleading
interrupted?
campaign
Aman, will you
and
listen,
propaganda
please?
of
The farmers
Congress
have
Aman,
party.
listen.
Thousands of farmers have seen how the BJP government duped them
Please, you
by
are passing
first
some
when campaigning for the
judgment on
election,
BJP
saying
had
that they
to
were
come in.
for the development of farmers by supporting the 2013 Act, and now the farmers are on the streets protesting because they've seen how the government has shown its back, turned its back, and have taken away
I'm
their
sorry.
powers.
They
the
are not
powers that were
farmers.
given after so many years, the powers
farmers
of
are all
consent,
with us.
social impact
What
assessment,
makes you think that
the fact
farmers
that
are
they can
with
go
you?
to court, the fact that unutilized land can
That
be
is your
returned to them after
imagination.
5 years.
All
of
farmers are
these
with us in
responsibilities
each and every
powers given
election.
to farmers
Repeatedly
were
we are being
undermined.
voted
And let me
back
ask
with
the
large
BJP
numbers,
spokesperson,
and Congress
when
party
we passed
is
the
losing ground
2013
repeatedly in
bill,
each and every
we passed
election.
it through a series
What
of
makes them think that
consultations.
farmers are
We
with
passed
them?
it through a democratic process. We took the bill to the standing committee. It went to the Lok Sabha, it went to the Rajya Sabha. Now
We are
why
still
are
willing
all
to
these
engage.
democratic and
I'm
parliamentary
sorry.
procedures being undermined?
My
Why
friend
is
from
the
the
bill
Congress
not being sent
party,
to the standing
just
committee?
like his leader,
If you do have
has
issues
not been
with
able
it,
to make
why aren't you
one
sending the
cogent
2013 bill
point,
to the
one
standing
constructive
committee?
suggestion.
Has this
Why bring
become an ego
ordinances
issue?
on whose behest
Gentlemen,
are you bringing
ordinance
ordinances?
amendment,
Are farmers
not a
telling you,
single one.
and why are you using this anti-parliamentary tool, using the propaganda of 13 legislations to push
Nothing.
in
No, it is
the
all
authority of
absolutely
the
useless
private
what
sector
all the
to
arguments
snatch
that
away
are
the
coming
land
through.
without
It
consent?
doesn't
Gentlemen, 5 minutes on the debate. My last question, by the way,
Farmers of this country are not fools. They will punish you, and they will punish you with a vengeance.
Gaurav Gogoi and Aman Sinha pull back a little bit. I'm
Please,
getting a sense.
Please, why
I'm
are
getting
you
a
passing
sense,
judgment?
Aman.
Who are you to speak on behalf of the farmers? The people of this
can I say
country have
something?
elected us.
1
We
second.
have got mandate of people
The
of this
farmers were
country.
there.
What makes you think
The
that
farmers were
are
there
not
on
with us?
Delhi.
Farmers
The
are
farmers
with
are
us.
protesting against you.
No, but
Did the
Sinha,
farmers
that
tell you to bring the ordinance?
Sinha, that
Did
was
the
the
farmers
exact
tell you to bring the
point.
ordinance? Did the
These are all
farmers
your
tell you to
paid
remove
workers who are
consent and
coming.
social
But
impact
Sinha,
assessment?
Sinhaji,
Please,
that
on
was the
whose
exact
behest are you
point that
There is no
Rahul Gandhi was
evidence
On
making.
whose behest are you acting?
What is your situation in all these states where elections have taken place?
Hey, Arnab,
No, it does everything. 1 second. I'm getting Mr. Desai back into the debate, but I don't think it is fair at this point of time for everything to come down to that issue. We are talking about the merits of an issue. The Congress party got 44, you got 282. Does that mean you're always
I
right
want
and
to
someone else
discuss
is
that.
always wrong?
But
It
Congress
doesn't.
party
Now the
runs away
question is, sir, you made a fairly strong comment.
Please,
I
follow
heard you
parliamentary
closely.
procedures.
No,
Don't use
I heard
ordinances
5 minutes. 5
to
minutes.
bulldoze.
5
Please
minutes.
follow parliamentary legislative procedures.
5
You know
minutes.
the parliamentary procedures as well. Learn from
What
us.
do you mean by legislative
we
procedure?
We worked with
We
you.
have followed the
Together,
mandate of the
we passed a
Constitution.
joint
There is a
bill.
procedure
The 2013
prescribed for
bill was a
ordinance
joint
of the
bill
Constitution.
that we passed
What do you mean?
in the lower house and in
You
the
do
upper
not
house.
have
It
even
went through
little
standing
understanding of
committees
the
through
constitutional
2 years of consultations. What have you shown in terms of democracy?
Please, I
You
cannot
are so
help it
arrogant
if my
that you're
friend
pushing
cannot understand
ordinance
the
after
constitutional
ordinance.
scheme.
Please show that you have a large
What do you
heart.
mean?
Think about
Aman
the
Sinha.
causes.
Take
Please
one
do.
cogent
Think
point.
about
Aman
And
Sinha,
then
you
all
said,
the-
Aman Sinha, please now listen to me. I heard you. I heard you, Mr. Aman
Think
Sinha.
about the 67%.
Aman Sinha, 1 minute. Aman Sinha.
Really has-
Aman Sinha,
my
please
friend
hear
from
me,
the
Mr.
Congress
Sinha.
party
Please hear me.
Has nothing cogent
Please
to
hear me,
say
Mr. Sinha.
apart from leveling
Take
personal
away the
allegations.
rhetoric and answer the question, Mr. Sinha. Please
Yes,
listen
Lord.
to me.
Already.
Do not live with an illusion in your mind.
I'm listening.
Do not live with an illusion in your mind.
Arnab,
That all
please ask the
farmers are happy
question.
with this bill because you said today,
That's arrogant.
Mr. Sinha, that it is all Congress organized. These are not farmers, all Congress organized. Just simple question for you. On February 25th, 2015, members of several farmers' unions marched from Kerala House to Jantar Mantar at Parliament Street. Was that organized by the Congress party, sir? On April 16, 2015, member of a coalition of people's
be.
movements, farmers'
That may not
organizations
be.
and trade unions.
It is
Allow me to
right that
complete.
Congress
Allow me to
party
complete,
is
sir.
trying to indulge
Allow me to
into a
complete.
false propaganda.
Allow me to complete. Why aren't you even hearing?
Get carried away with that.
Bharat Mazdoor
But
Sangh.
predominantly,
These are BJP
I'm
supported
not saying each and every one.
organizations.
But
Sir,
predominantly,
the
all
problem,
farmers
Mr.
are
Sinha,
also
is I am
protesting
getting.
their own
I hope,
organizations.
Mr. Sinha, you will not allow the viewer to get a strong sense that the BJP has
That is
stopped
incorrect.
listening to anyone. Mr. Sinha, on March 10th, farmers of the Bharatiya Kisan Union
Please, yeah.
declared a
You asked me
4-day-long
question.
protest in
You asked- you
Sangrur
want
and
me to answer
Bhatinda
and then you
regions
say that
against
you
the
are-
land
you are-
ordinance. Was
Why
that
are you
organized by the Congress? When coalitions of people's movements, farmers' organizations, trade unions held a
saying that
protest in
some
Jantar
people
Mantar
might
over
be
the land
getting carried
ordinance,
away by the
was it
Congress
organized by the
propaganda.
Congress?
But Arnab, I at least do not believe that, a smart journalist like you is going to be carried away by all
I am, Mr. Sinha, I am on fact. I am reminding you of what you said earlier.
which is being created.
Mr. Sinha, I need no compliments. But what I'm asking
I
you
am
is,
willing to
Were you wrong then or are you wrong now?
Each and every provision of the
I
amendment.
am, Mr. Sinha,
Why
tell
don't you ask your Congress panelists to debate?
Mr. Sinha, I'm asking you because you're in government.
This whole business about economic development and
I am so sorry
economic
that the
development
Rajiv
and
Desai.
agriculture is nothing,
it's running away from the issue.
Rajiv Desai.
has been raised all over the world.
It's running away from
All
the issue.
over the world it's being raised, and all over the world it has been addressed in favor of the farmers rather than in favor of development, because people have realized that in the name of development there have been many injustices perpetrated on a population that has very little say in larger policy matters.
speaking,
And
but
especially
all the changes are addressed
it's true
towards
in the United
betterment
States
in
where they have
lifestyle
this
of the farmer
Occupy. Will you
and the
please
rural
listen?
economy.
Will you please listen? I did not interrupt when you talk. Mr. Kohli, I urge you to please
Please
maintain
no, please,
some
I don't
silence
need
and
to be told
decorum. The
when to
fact of the
speak.
matter is, all over the world, there has been an issue between economic development and agriculture. And it's turning out increasingly in favor of the agriculture side because the development is seen to have been skewed. The development is seen to be skewed in favor of the few, what they call the 1%. And that's why there's a growing movement all over the world against this kind of skewed development, and people have come down in favor of the farm, agriculture
That's
and the
why we
farmer
have kept farmers
as opposed to development and industrial growth. It's a very simple thing. I'm for industrial growth. I'm for all of this. Will you ever
Therefore, the
listen to me,
amendments
or
are
are you just going to
addressed
insist on yelling and
improving
screaming? Listen to what
lifestyle
somebody
of
has to
farmers
say.
and improving
You
the
should
rural
listen to
economy.
what somebody has to say. And I'm
have
saying it's
already
happening
heard and
all over the
responded.
world. There's a question
don't go on
about
writing the same
economic
thing again and
development,
again.
industrial development and agriculture, and the more sensible people are coming down on the side of agriculture, largely because of issues of sustainability, climate change, equity, equitability, and all of that. So if you ever read an international
whole
newspaper
point
or
is
watched an
not
international program or
because when
talked
I'm
to
saying
anybody internationally,
all the
you will
amendments
find
is to
that these arguments are on the,
of life of
have been
farmers.
resolved there.
What is the point that
and
you are
whereas you go on and on and on and not listen to anybody, anything that anybody has to say.
The way things are
This is an
poised.
international issue. It's been raised
the
all
way-
over the
Over
world.
and over again.
Now,
And you
Mr.
expect people to keep listening.
Mr. Sinha,
We are here to respond.
Mr. Sinha, you have two options now.
No, I listen to all your diatribes, Mr. Sinha. Enough. You should listen sometime to
No,
others
there
as
are
well.
two options. Gentlemen, it's a testy debate. Let's not get angry with each other. We're on a debate. We are not fighting with each other. My point tonight is, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to speak to the viewers for a minute. It is a very, very challenging situation for the BJP. And if I may say so, the BJP has painted itself into a bit of a corner. They know it's a tough spot politically. If the BJP makes the changes, then it is Rahul Gandhi's victory. He's going to position it as his victory. If the BJP does not make the changes and tries to push through a joint session, you're going to have a entirely reorganized, regalvanized opposition party willing to take the BJP on, saying you're a pro-corporate, pro-rich party. Either which way, it's difficult for the BJP. Which will they choose? Kumar Ketkar, not that you're on the BJP side, which will they choose?
I'm obviously not on the BJP side, but they will have to choose the so-called corporate side, anti-farmer side. But their problem is...
You're hoping they will?
No, I'm not hoping. They will have to, because otherwise they cannot actually, as Rahul Gandhi said, pay back to those who paid them during the campaign.
So first of all, Arnav,
Aman Sinha.
none of your opposing panelists
and moreover,
have been
let's
able
hear
to
from
show
you. I have
one
limited time.
provision which goes in interest
There
of
he
the
goes
corporates
again.
and against
There
the
he goes
farmers.
again.
Not one provision, like their leader Rahul Gandhi.
Mr. Sinha, will you ever let anybody speak?
All right, well, Mr. Rajiv Desai, Mr.
Why
Aman
won't you
Sinha.
let anybody speak?
Please, I don't
Rajiv
allow
Desai, Aman
I
Sinha.
don't need to be told what is the decorum of a debate.
Okay,
I will
Rajiv
speak
Desai.
when I wish to.
I
You are
began
running
this
away
thing
from
with
the
Gentlemen, Rajiv Desai, Aman Sinha, Gaurav Gogoi and Kumar Ketkar, be sure about one thing.
What to do about the land acquisition, what to do about farmers in distress.
Be sure about one
He
thing.
has nothing to say about farmers in distress.
Be sure about one thing. The opposition seems to have found an issue to latch
We have
on to.
done.
No,
This is not the last we've heard of this issue.
Actually, it is not opposition which has found. It is people who have found
You know,
because
under
there are 400
politics
farmers who
aside,
committed suicide in Maharashtra. 400 farmers committed suicide in Maharashtra in last 4 months. They were not Congress-sponsored suicides. 400 farmers committed suicide.
Gentlemen, we'll take this up again. I'm going to thank everyone.
That number is
I'm going to thank
any time before. Narendra Modi has time to visit everywhere except to the distressed villages.
Gentlemen, I think when the opposition accuses the government of being a rich man's sarkar, it's got it on the back foot a little bit. Let's see how the government responds. Will Mr. Modi be drawn into the debate? I'd like to know that. Thank you very much. Debate number 2 on how the VVIP culture has not gone away is coming up on the other side.